our last session began with a fun night out for a few drinks, ending in... Well, I wouldn't say it was catastrophe, because all of you did succeed in defending Durasane from the assassins. In this case, 2 clockwork robotic assassins that struck in the back alley behind the bar. And you even managed to recover one intact enough for all of you to try to repair. So you took this robot assassin back to the secret laboratory underneath the secret library in Waltz Manor. And you went to work trying to fix them. You learned that they went by a call sign, CAR, C-A-R, 10. And for a brief moment, when you brought CAR 10 back, CAR 10, struggled because they had all of their memories and had to be shut down. And then after a delicate combination of mechanics and magic between Max and Dare, failed to correctly recover this robot the second time all of you brought it back online. You were left with CAR 10 with basically no other memories of their past or themselves. It was an interesting back and forth for the role player, I'm sure. And during this period of time, others of you went and work on some passive tasks. And also, because Dare failed to properly introduce everyone that worked at the house, it was discovered through happenstance that somebody had been spying on what was going on in the house, posing as one of the workers. It was only really noticed because, one of you stopped long enough to have a full conversation and notice a vampire's bite on his neck. Between the assassination attempt and gaining your new ally, and then learning that things were less than secure at the house, all of you were left last session feeling kind of, at least not having fully established a direction of what all you want to do next. But Durasane did put some things into action. As all of you are waking up fairly early in the morning in your rooms, which are now assigned to all of you in the house. You can see them on the board map. You would feel somewhat rested at least. All of you would get to roll a d12 to recover or remove health wounds and sanity wounds if you have any lingering. Throughout the night, Dare has been hard at work, as he always is in his laboratory. So he's still up right now, although this is usually around the time that he would hide from the sun. And you guys need to decide what your priorities are. How do you like to progress? Anybody have a morning routine?
I had told him that I had told Dare that I would kind of watch over him in as non-invasive way as possible. So there's a good chance that I'm sleeping in a little bit and I stayed up a little bit later. Even though we know what happened at this point, I think Jensen would still feel obligated to look out for his friend.
I mean, I only sleep for an hour, so I'm sure, very close to Dare's room for the remainder of the night.
Yeah, I sleep with efficiency as well, so I think he'd probably start up some kind of regimen of patrols on the first floor.
Max
would sleep in a bit more than usual this morning.
All right. The rest of you are getting up and moving about. Daria, you know that you need to hold a meeting at some point today because sometime this morning, probably in the next few hours, the new security team should be showing up. There's
Did
probably
I get names for them.
Yes, Harold came back with a list of their names and kind of told you a little bit about them.
Okay. Well, I would tell Harold and Hannah to keep an eye out for when they show up, and
of course, sir.
And make sure everyone knows that there's going to be a meeting this evening.
Yes, if I bump into anybody, I'll let them know. And I cleared out the side house. I figure that's where they'll sleep between their shifts, since we're already taking up so many rooms in the main house.
Yes, that should be fine.
Very well. He bows and he does his hunched walk back up the steps upstairs to the first floor of the house, where he runs into you, Carten. You didn't need anything for... Well, do you eat or drink?
No, sir, I do not need anything.
I think I'm going to like you. He keeps
Jesus,
walking.
He just stands there awkwardly.
He keeps walking. He cuts out into the main hall and across to the dining room. Jensen, you've wandered into the dining room, and there's already a piping hot breakfast, platters of foods out on the table. They're all ready to go, Mr. Jensen.
Oh well, this is quite the spread. You know what? My friends better get here pretty early, or I'm gonna dig into this myself.
Oh, don't worry, there's always more if it's necessary. He kind of raises a hand as you pick up one of the prongs and you reach over for one of the sausages. Not those two on the far left. They've got they're for V.
The special venison sausages.
He cuts across the dining room as he's walking through the house, and he barks you hear him barking some orders at Hannah and her father, and then he cuts back into the grand hall V as you're coming through the billiards room. Master Dari is still hard at work. You will find I have left out some food for you. Jensen knows the ones.
Thank you, Harold. I'll go eat.
Yeah, you pass into the dining room where you see Jensen is at the table, and Tin he's walked into the dining room on this quarter rotation of his pathing that he's chosen for the downstairs. So the three of you are all in there.
Morning.
Good morning.
Although Jensen left, he needed to tell me which ones were mine.
Jensen looks over at the sausages and he points out the two to the far left. And you see that there's a shaker of chili flakes.
Perfect. I'll go grab those and shake a bunch of chili over them. And then, is there coffee?
There is.
Sweet. I'm gonna go grab that, and I'm gonna shake some chili into that too.
There's basically everything you need to make a full English breakfast at this table for multiple people. Dari, downstairs in the laboratory, you've kind of rubbed the night's frustration from your eyes, and you feel yourself it's almost like you've been working for so long you're unable to focus on this heap of robotic parts and gears in front of you. You can hear upstairs from where the door was left cracked on the winding staircase. You can hear them kind of gathering in the dining room and chatting. What would you like to do?
I'll slowly make my way up, poking my head around corners very slowly to make sure the windows are all blocked off?
Yeah, everything is blocked. Hannah does it in the mornings. She walks through every room in the house and closes every curtain.
Yeah, then I'd walk up and join him.
So now that leaves all of you but Max in the dining room for breakfast. Hannah
Max
walks.
would a little unsteadily come down the stairs looking more haggard than usual.
Oh, Max. Hannah smiles at you and she hands you a cup of coffee. They're in the dining room.
Much obliged.
I'm glad you woke up yourself. I was coming to wake you, and you wouldn't have liked it. She walks back towards the kitchen.
Max will snort and say under his breath, "Yes, I suspect not."
My second cup of coffee already.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of coffee out.
I'll grab a cup of coffee and I'll look around for some blood, some of the blood that Dari would have been drinking to put in the coffee to see if he likes coffee and blood.
I keep my vials separate from everything else. I wouldn't have told you where I put them.
Okay. Well, I'll just walk up to you and go, here, you should try and put some of the blood in there. See if, find what flavors work good. Because, eating the one thing is, even if it tastes good, it can get boring after a while. You gotta mix it up a little bit.
Well, that's true. I did try my hand at what I used to eat. Since this happened, it did not go well.
Did you put blood on it, though?
I tried many things. That included. But thank you, Joel.
Yeah. Oh. That sucks. And I'll take a big old bite out of my brain sausage.
No pepper flakes for that.
Oh, I already put them on.
Oh,
And in the coffee, too. You want some for yours?
that would, if you do that, I would have to knock your hand away in protest. Don't you ruin my coffee.
It makes it better.
No, it does not. I don't have to try it to know that. I'm quite confident.
Well, I just came up to say, before I go to rest, we are expecting 4 people for a security team to arrive today. I don't think I will be up to greet them. Harold and Hannah know who to expect. But there should be a Bertrand, a Charlie, Timothy, and Marie. I will be... Well, I would like to meet them this evening as well. But we should have another meeting of everyone so we all know who belongs in the manor and who does not.
Jetson shakes his head to the side.
So the guards were Bertrand, Charlie,
Timothy, and something.
Marie.
Okay.
And if there's nothing else you need from me, I find it quite difficult to remain awake with the sun up.
No worries, Doctor.
And I will go to bed.
What do the rest of you do over breakfast?
Look up at Max and acknowledge him for the first time and say, "How are you feeling today? Got up a little late."
Yes. Well, much improved. I appreciate your concern, dear old chap.
Well, yes.
Could you
Well,
pass
not
some of
the
those
first
little
time
cakes
you-
there?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes. And as I pass one, I say, it would not... yesterday was not the first time that you saved my keisters. Figure, look out for those who look out for me.
Yes, well, I'm sure you've repaid the favor in advance multiple times over at this point.
Okay, I'll
He'll
smile
cough
at
into
you.
his
And,
handkerchief
like,
again.
you need to take more rest today. You do it. We need you at full strength.
Yes, well, I'll certainly feel better once these security people are on the job.
I might investigate the coffee, even though I don't think that I would drink any, but just based on Jensen's continual drinking it and V holding it, he probably picks up the pot and sniffs it a few times and then looks over at them and puts it back down.
Well, you can have some if you want, new friend, but I did not think because of your constitution that you would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's but Matt, can I drink coffee? Do I have a mouth? I mean,
No.
no, okay.
You have like an opening,
But
you
not gonna pour coffee into it.
you can't taste or anything.
Yeah, I figured as much. I just
So
don't
like
know if he has-
it would only have a chance of like harming your inner workings.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there would be a way that I could chemical analysis, like analyze something just to see what components make it up. But
I mean, you can make a science, like a natural sciences test on it to try to understand what it is.
okay, that's what I'll try to do then.
It's a 6.
That'd be. Of course, I don't have any 4s out here. Where are my D4s at? So I have the basic programming that only counts with the skills, right? So I would have a D6 with that.
Yeah.
And I've seemed to have lost my D4s. Oh, there you go. They're hidden underneath my second character sheet.
Even loses his digital dice.
I'm serious. I don't lose my real dice here. All right. Yeah, that's
you know what this is. You've seen you feel like you're having flashes of memories of seeing somebody, an old man covered in dust and with a shirt stained with oil splotches, and he would drink this a lot.
Okay. He seems to be lost in thought for a moment, and he sets the coffee pot down.
I am sorry that you can't properly enjoy that because it is somewhat of a luxury that I happen to enjoy it very much.
Yeah, it's one of like 3 things that actually have any taste.
He still seems like he's lost in thought.
All right.
Oh, yes. Taste.
You taste things.
I cannot. Unfortunately. Could you describe the flavor to me?
Well, it's really bitter and it's spicy.
Spicy. Interesting.
Well, it is fairly simple. It's the coffee beans with hot water, made with hot water. It's like bean juice, really. Hot bean juice.
He looks at you awkwardly, and then looks back over at me.
I don't even
Not
like
wrong,
beans all
it
that
is
much.
bean juice.
I reach for the pot and start to pour my 3rd cup.
Man, you're gonna need to go to the bathroom really bad soon at that rate.
Well, that sounds like an issue when it comes up, and not now. Speaking of issues, what are we doing today? When not the security coming here, but I'd kind of like to see a little bit more of the city.
As would I. Can I accompany you?
Of course.
I would
Won't be-
prefer to wait until at least the security guards get here.
I agree. I might do a little something that we did back in Lambeth Hollow, and post myself upside in a coat that covers who I am, and try to see if anybody is watching the mansion. Very curious as to why this infiltrator's here, and I think we should also really talk about the fact that there were the marks of a vampire's teeth on this unknown infiltrator's neck. Something's going on here.
Yeah.
So
We
I
should
think I would
probably
do that.
figure out how to hire assassins. Just because that's probably how he got hired to kill Dad. So, if we figured out who we could talk to, we might be able to figure out who he was before
Yeah,
he got lobotomized.
that's a good idea. Far away enough from this here manor that they wouldn't know who we are or where we were coming from. Sounds like a little undertaking. Also something we could wait for the good doctor to join us in doing tonight.
True. You can't really go outside during the day now, so
I would rather have him with me if we were to be ambushed by numbers, I don't know what, and I'll just him 2 and 4. If car 2 and car 4 come after us, something, no offense.
I mean,
He
if we're
shrugs.
being honest, we don't know that there's only 10. We just know that he's 10 of
Yeah,
some number.
I definitely said my brothers would be coming for you, but I did not share the number. You just know, based on the fact that there's 10, probably that there's potentially other models.
There's
And you were calling
They count really wrong.
you were calling the one you were working with 5, like during
Yeah.
combat. So
And I think they conveyed that to me as they showed me the pieces.
We heard that it was 5, car 5. Yeah, so no offense, but we do need to be on sharp alert for others of your family.
Noted. I'm eager to meet my family as well.
If they attack us, are you gonna join them or are you gonna help us?
Well, you are the only friends I have currently. I look for my family to learn additional information about my history and my past. I have no interest in killing you all.
That's good.
We all woke
And the
up
fight-
this morning.
And the fight didn't go so well last time. So.
Right. I'm gonna pile up my plate a little bit more and eat for another 10-15 minutes, and I am going to go don a different cloak and try to obscure myself and walk away stealthily, and then come back and kind of post up, hat down on my face, and kind of watch the.
where are you trying to do this from?
That's what I mean. I probably maybe look like a drunk that's like leaned up against a house, like maybe like
Got it.
a couple hundred feet away from the manor or something like that, or I guess
The entrance off the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want
Alright.
to see about just watch the people coming and going, see if anybody takes a particular interest in the manor.
Go make a perception test for me. Target number is 8.
I haven't been outside yet either,
Huh?
so if I can get the opportunity to go out and follow Jensen, I will.
Okay, sure.
This one I wanted to do on my own because I'm gonna post up and be kind of like a
Okay,
in disguise watch for the morning. But I said yes, and I meant it. I will take you. We will go out and explore a little bit because I want to actually explore too.
I mean, you can still go out if it's your character.
Yeah, he hasn't been
Yeah,
outside
yeah.
yet either, so I believe Darcy gave him a cloak, so he'd grab the cloak after seeing Jensen do pretty much the same, and then he'll go outside on his own. And even if he's just standing next to the door waiting for the security to arrive, he's just trying to be useful.
Okay.
Oh, cool. If I utilize I want to pass this perception test. We cool if I use a momentum.
Go for it.
I think with a momentum, I'll almost guarantee to get.
I'm cool with it.
I figured you were.
Takes it down to a 5.
I thumbs up off camera for some reason.
Okay, got a 10. Would have been okay, but 10.
After about an hour camping up, leaned on the nearby building, you do notice something. A woman. She looks like she's in her mid to late 20s, with long gold, kind of almost like brown hair, but kind of like with a goldish tinge. She is watching the gates of the manor from a table outside, like a little boutique, just a little ways farther down the road than you. She doesn't look armed. She's wearing a pretty a long leather coat. She's wearing almost like what would be perceived as like mannish clothing.
Okay.
And you do notice that like across her back, you can see the top end at an angle of the hilt of a sword.
Okay. I will maintain my position and just continue watching her, making sure she moves, she talks to anybody.
As she shifts, she puts a 3-pointed hat on the top of her head, and she runs strong but slender fingers down the tip, and then she stands up and she starts to walk up the sidewalk like she's going to be walking past you, like directly towards the gates.
Okay. We knew about we were getting a security detail. We didn't get any more details about the people. I know there was one presumably woman.
You did know that there was a woman named Marie.
Okay. I will let her get to the gates before I get up, but then I will get up.
Okay. As she walks past you, she smirks. You're decent at this, but I noticed you, friend. You see a carriage roll past her, and a man leans out of it. Oh, Marie, leave the drunk be. And then he pulls himself back into the carriage, and it rides past the gate, stopping over by car 10.
I will push my hat up with a smirk on my face and say, "Well, it seems like you are better at this than your friend, Marie."
They're not necessarily skilled at noticing things, but they have their uses as well. Lapont. She gives you a short bow. Now, are you coming?
Well, now that I know you are friend and not foe, definitely.
The two of you head up. She'll nod her head. As you know, Marie Lapont. As the two of you are heading up, you see Cartin has stopped the carriage at the gate. Cartin, you had decided to assign yourself watching the gate. How would you like to stop the carriage as it starts rolling past you?
It's a horse-drawn carriage, obviously, right? He walks up to the horse.
Hello. Are you security? Any stopping?
He's just talking to the horse. He hasn't even acknowledged them yet.
An aged man leans out. He's got kind of like a bushy, unkempt beard that he scratches on. Looks like he probably uses the end of a blade to just cut chunks off of it when he feels like it's getting too long. And then he smiles. Now, what the hell are you? He hops out of the carriage. His boots kind of land in the mud, and he kind of like swivels for a minute. You can tell he's probably got like one bad knee, and then he steps forward. A strange one for sure.
Your large friend is quiet. I am Carr. And he reaches his hand out to him.
He grips your hand in kind of a firm shake. Bertrand.
Do I see Jensen?
Bell ringer. Yeah, you see him coming up behind the carriage with a woman.
Say, you must be careful, my new friend. This one here is quite the murderous assassin.
Jensen, come you have large friends.
He's talking about the horse.
Oh, you wanted the horse's name. The horse's name is Charles.
Come you have large friend Charles. And then he...
Not to be confused with Charlie. You see a younger man lean out. He's still probably mid-20s. He's got a scar running out under one of his eyes. Where'd you all want us to put our horse and buggy?
I just looked at you. I have no idea.
Bertrand lets the silence hold for a couple seconds, and then he looks at both of you and he says, "Perhaps you should point us to the master of the house."
Well, the master of the house is currently sleeping in a bit after a rather intriguing night.
Ha!
Why?
The rich do like to sleep in. Why don't you let us know where Harold is? He set this up.
This was going to be my suggestion. I'll direct him over towards where buggies and carriages, I imagine, would
There's
go.
a stable. There's a stable.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
where the other carriage is parked.
And I'll say to them, or maybe to Marie, I'll say I will go in and find the what's the word for it? The go-between. The
Middleman?
Yeah, I'll go find the intermediary that set up this little arrangement right now.
Yes, I think he's the butler.
That he is. Go inside and find Harold.
Yeah, and eventually we find the four members of the security team standing in the Great Hall with anybody who would like to be there for their reception.
I'll go down.
Okay. Bertrand's kind of at the lead of the group. He's still scratching at his beard like it's just constantly itching him. Charlie, the man with the scar under his eye, just wears a single revolver holstered on his belt. And Timothy, who was driving the horses after Bertrand stepped out, he's the youngest of the group. He looks like he's like late teens, early 20s. And he looks pretty street hardened for sure. He's definitely somebody who probably grew up in this area. And the last of them is Marie Lapont. She enters with Jensen as everyone's gathering up. Oh, it's a big house. We'll have to set up multi-level watches. Yes, Bertrand? And he kind of nods. She nods. Yes. Yes, where is Durasene?
He
Asleep.
is otherwise disposed right now. He is asleep.
Has he left you any instructions for us?
They were talking about how you guys could use the side house to sleep between watches.
Good. We'll drop our things off there. If nothing else, we'll take a little tour of the grounds. And, of course, each level of the house. We'll also need to meet all of the other staff members. She kind of looks around, and she sees Harold standing there and Hannah. Yes, it's just the two of you? And Harald shakes his head. No, come along. I'll give you all the tour. And he turns with them and he starts to lead them through the house. There's a lot of shifting and movement and change going on throughout the house this day. And eventually we come to the early evening. All of you have gathered up. Dare, it is night now. It'll be easier for you to move about, do whatever tasks all of you would like to complete for the day. And as all of you meet up, some food has been gathered. And what would all of you like to do for the evening?
Good evening, everyone. Has the new guard arrived?
Yeah, Harold gave him a tour earlier.
You can see a torch as one of them. It looks like Timothy is walking the outside grounds right now outside.
Excellent. Well, I take it you have met them? Yes?
Yes, we have.
There are two Charleses. I like the large one.
Okay.
Up
Well,
to you.
I am
I'm very
going to,
amenable to him.
I can't wait to ask that guy if that's dad.
I'm gonna go grab Harold to gather everyone real quick. Just so there can be like a 5-minute, this is everybody who's allowed in the house without permission.
Okay.
So meet up.
Harold scrambles everyone together, including the new 4-person security team. Everyone is accounted for, young master.
Excellent. Well then, it is nice to meet the new security team. Thank you for coming on such short notice.
Hey, we go where the Dakotas are.
Right, well, do a good job, and you will get paid, I assure you.
We like the sound of that.
But this is just for you as well as us. So we've had someone snooping about the manor lately. Everyone here. These are the only people allowed in the manor without express permission from myself.
Can we get a detailed description of this intruder?
Well, I believe Jensen, you encountered them.
Yeah. Yep. And I will recount my. I'll recount my encounter. Them leaving out the blood vial part.
Okay.
But I will say, there is one more thing about this intruder that is worrisome to us, and we are going to be looking into. And he did look to appear to have bite marks on his neck from an unnatural source. So just be on the lookout that whatever sent him here could be of the undead. Put it.
I'm sorry, what?
It looked as though this intruder was bitten by a vampire. Could have been a vampire himself.
Didn't you see him during the day?
I'm sorry, you hired us as a security team because you were concerned about possible attacks from vampires?
Well, not necessarily attacks directly from vampires, but maybe
And,
one has a...
specifically from intruders into the manor. Jensen here is, in fact, a monster hunter. He has quite interesting stories.
Charlie nods his head. Yeah, stories. Hey, boss, did we get any money up front on this? Cause I'm starting to think these guys might be a little wacko. Bertrand holds up a hand, and then he looks back at all of you. We're here to protect you from intruders, not a problem. Although I will let you know we don't know if we were supposed to be or how to equip ourselves for vampires.
That's all right. I am here and can
This
help.
is fine. Just watch the manor, please. Inform us of any dangers that might be coming our way, and keep people out of the manor and its grounds.
Yes, we can do all that. This is going to be an interesting job.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of everyone's time, so I just wanted everyone to know who was supposed to be here.
All right, everybody, you know where you're supposed to be right now. Let's get to it. Security team kind of disperses. Hannah looks at all of you. Be careful going out tonight, in case of assassins.
Great.
As one of them passes by Max, he'll use telekinesis to just move his cane from where he set it a few inches into his hand. Just like timing it such that they'll notice that happen, but without making a big deal out of it.
Marie squints. Very interesting indeed. She keeps walking.
He'll push himself to his feet and just sort of tip his head at her.
But in regards to seeing the city, there are a couple places that I was thinking about. One, I think Jensen would like quite a bit. There's a place called the Darklighters Club. From what I gather, a group of monster hunters as well.
Ooh, really now? In the city?
All I can tell you is what I've heard.
Maybe they can supply our guards with vampire killing things.
Well, they probably could if we do in fact need that.
Well, if at the very least, maybe we might be able to. I might be able to use my connection to ask some questions about unnatural beings in the city. That's a good idea. I would like to go there at some point. If not tonight, then soon.
There is also another place that I think would be interesting just to go for all of us. There's a night market. Again, I haven't been there, but Harold has told me of a way to access it. They might have fun things there.
Is the night market like the black market? Or is it just like a market that's open at night?
Well, with how I was informed of how to get there, it sounds more like a black market type of space, but they should have interesting things there because of it.
A market open under the shadowy cloak of night is probably going to invite some unsavory folk, even if it is not a black market. So,
But it does seem like a place that could have information on our mystery guest as well.
Or who sent our new friend?
yes, it's true. I would like to go to both. I don't care which one we go to first.
Neither.
What Harold told me is that the night market, we have to travel through a sewer entrance, so maybe we meet the monster hunters first, so we don't scare them off with our smell.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
We wouldn't want them thinking we were sewer monsters coming for them.
Are sewer monsters real, Jensen?
Well, I don't have an affinity to catch them, but maybe that's just because I have not hunted monsters in such an urban environment. You never know. And he'll kind of like have like a knowing smirk on his face.
There are certainly plenty of stories. Spend an evening in almost any pub in the city and you'll probably catch one.
Well, sounds like a game.
I want to fight a sewer monster.
V's like, all right, let's do it. What a sewer
The
monster!
black market. Let's go fight sewer monsters.
Exactly.
However, if they are in fact monster hunters, I might stay outside.
That's probably a good idea. Although, well, in my lodge, I could reach for it, but
Maybe I should stay outside too.
If you don't
this
know
might
them,
be a.
I don't know that they would accept your offer that I am in
Oh.
fact friendly.
That's a good point. Sounds like he'll look at Max. You, me, and our new friend Cotton should probably undertake this one.
Yes, I would be most happy to accompany you, T. Jensen. Hopefully these monster hunters are not ahead of the times enough to start considering constructs like a friend here to be monsters.
Well, we will assure them that he is no longer the monster that he might have been once.
He pulls his cloak up over his head.
I will remain in disguise as to not alert anyone that I cannot remember.
Yes, that is probably for the best. We should really find a way to do something about that face of yours.
I mean, he could wear a mask like me.
It's not a terrible idea, V.
Or we could just say he is wearing a mask.
Yes, as long as he keeps the hood up, that would at least convince the casual bystander.
I think that, and maybe we find something at this market for you. You pick something out.
He nods.
The carriage is pulling up out front, the personal transport, to take you all to the Darklighters Club. It's on the far east side of Bethel Hill, near the outer walls of the lower city districts. There's a off-kilter hanging sign with a painted arrow down a set of cobblestone steps to a door sunken about halfway below street level. It's got one of those slatted metal windows. What would the two of you that aren't going inside like to do? Just chill at the carriage?
Yeah, I'll wait with the carriage.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. As the three of you approach the door, Jensen, how would you like to knock?
I mean, I will have my. Firstly, I'll have my emblem, like, very prominently around my neck, on my chest. And yeah, then hold on, I'm having technical difficulties.
I stop at the horse.
Are you related to my friend Charles?
Snorts in your face.
Oh my god, there's like children's music playing outside.
Ice cream truck driving by.
Yeah, I was just jump, 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 baby, jump. Right, sorry, guys.
Fine. Sorry, I'm also experiencing.
It's okay. I believe, James, I believe.
Oh,
Oof. Oof. I saw the little wireless issue sign flash by his name to you.
Mm.
We're going to cut to the carriage while James figures this out. Your driver pulls it around the side of the building a little bit, so it's just a little out of view. Help the two of you feel more comfortable considering where they're going and what each of you are at this point in your journey. He hops off the seat and he kind of stretches out. Ooh, cold tonight, but it's good to stretch the legs.
is this one of the guards, or was this his
No,
normal carriage driver?
His name is Glenn. He's the carriage driver.
Yeah, it's a little cold, Glenn. I like the cold.
You see Glenn kind of cock his head to the side, and he's looking off down the alley, farther down the alley, out of view of the two of you because you're sitting in the carriage. And who might you?
I'll get out.
And then he just falls forward, like, into the cobblestone. It's like he, like, instantly fell asleep.
I'll get out and...
I'll hop out behind V.
The two of you see a figure. Slender. Pale. Wearing a long black dress. One of her hands opens a bit and fans out a fan in front of her face. She closes it again. Sorry, private conversations. Don't worry, he'll wake up in a few hours. She smiles, and
for that.
when she smiles under the light of the gas lamp in the alley, she very clearly flashes a fang at each of you.
Was it you?
Was it me what? You just meet a lady in a dark alley and start accusing her of things?
I mean, you just put our driver to sleep.
Well, I mean, the alternative would be much worse.
What, him just going around the corner?
No, him doing something foolish that would force me to harm him.
And you'll find people who serve our house aren't really that easily alarmed.
Yes, but from what I've been told, they're quite loyal. We didn't want him to do anything stupid, did we?
I'm gonna check him over, make sure he's just unconscious.
He does. He definitely has an abrasion on his forehead from the fall, but he just appears to be unconscious, like in a deep sleep.
Will you help me get him inside the carriage?
Yeah, I'll kind of pick him up and just kind of toss him over my shoulder and then into the carriage.
It's a strong boy you have there.
Quite. So to finish my question, were you the one spying on my manor?
Oh, well. You see, we can't just have one of our kind move into town and not look into things. It's not every day there's a new one of us. And there's, only so much city to divide.
And how many are you?
We are a flock. But tonight you just talk to me. You can call me Elizabeth.
Do you employ dolls, Elizabeth?
Well, I employ servants of many kind. Why do you ask?
because we were attacked by some dolls.
Sounds to me that they were most likely enchanted. Perhaps some kind of dark magic? I'd have to know more about them.
Well, let's get something straight. Were you just watching me? Or are you trying to kill me?
Oh, I didn't hire any killer dolls or anything like that. I'd like to think I have a more personal, nuanced touch when I deal with things.
I would hope so. So what is it I can do for you?
Well, let's just say I've come here because I think it's best that we deal with things on friendly terms. We're interested in knowing what your plans are for your time here in the city, how long you're planning to stay, what your means of blood supply is, so on and so forth. Perhaps, we could even help you if our views align. It can be hard to get a blood bank going, after all. An unnoticeable one, that is.
How long have you been in the city? Surely you know that I have lived here for quite some time.
Yes. I know your family name. What is it? Your great uncle resided in that house for nearly 65 years. I knew him when he was young. He was quite the looker. But I've been here a long time, and your name doesn't mean much to me. What you have planned for your future does, though.
Are you concerned that I would let out our secret?
I'm concerned about why one of our kind would be traveling with a vampire killer, a monster hunter. I want to know whose side you're on.
Well, first and foremost, I am on my own side. As I'm sure you
Well,
are.
I'm on your side too.
It is always nice when our most successful creations are also our most loyal.
But what gives you the right to come up to me and ask this? What is your blood supply? Where do you live? Should I care?
It would be best, perhaps, if you didn't care. Although, we could have a future working together. We'll just have to see how things go, I guess.
I think that would depend on how you view our condition. Perhaps we set an actual proper meeting where you don't attack one of my people.
I will take it back to the coven, and we will consider it.
And please, just send a letter. You know where I live, I assume.
We shall see. Welcome back home.
Shall see you later, Elizabeth.
She kind of shifts under the lamplight and she kind of backpedals out of the beams of light into the dark. And when she does that, she just kind of melts into it.
I don't like them.
see what they want if they ever contact us back. Let's see to Glenn, make sure he would be alright.
As all of that was happening, we cut back to the door of the Darklighters Club. How would you like to knock, Mr. Monster Hunter?
Oh,
no.
Way, just...
Yeah, okay. You just knock on the metal surface?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was told that this might be a place where my kind are welcome. He'll kind of puff out his chest. Just wanted to see that.
Kind of looks down your chest. You see the eyes kind of cock a little bit as they fall on the medallion. Window closes. There's a brief pause, and then you hear as like dozens of locks behind this door get undone, and then the door is pulled open. You see a figure, pretty short actually. This guy's like barely 4 feet tall. He steps down off a set of 3 steps that are kind of installed into the back side of the door, and he rubs his glasses in his grease-stained vest. Interesting. Ain't seen one of you in a while. Don't usually come in the city very much.
No, we don't. But I'm here on business, and I'm, new to the city. I heard there might be some of my kin here.
Well, there's Darklighters here. At least a couple. Come on in. He'll wave the 3 of you in, and he'll close the door, and you'll see him like locking all the locks. And ahead of all of you, you see long wood floorboards that lead down into this quiet, like red light dripping lounge. It's smoky. There's only a few people in here right now. The short man, he takes a position up behind the bar next to a tall, aged, dark-skinned, kind of buff old man that's kind of like washing some glasses. He has his head completely shaved back, bald, but a little bit of like facial hair building on his chin. It's all white. And you also see what looks like a woman acting as like a hostess for the few guests that are around at the different seats, and she eventually turns and she looks at the 3 of you. Room for 3, would you like a booth or a table?
A booth would be lovely.
She'll show you over to the booth, and she'll take your drink orders as she sits all of you there. If you need anything, just ask for Dame Besson.
Dame Besson? Well, I thank you for showing us kindness, Lady Besson.
You see a few, almost like, they look like they might be, essentially like mercenaries to the untrained eye at these tables. Some of them are playing cards or dice games. You see sitting alone in a booth to the back corner, you see a woman. She's got broad shoulders and a big frame. She's like 6'2" or 6'3", and she's leaned back with this massive greatsword kind of sitting in position next to her in the booth. Her eyes are closed almost as if she's dozing off. And a few tables down from her, you see this thin, almost Spanish-looking man. He's like twirling a long, bushy black mustache, and he has a rapier kind of like at his side, slowly nursing at a drink. Eventually that short man walks back over and he says, well, listen, Dame Besson, she introduced herself, of course. Normally inventory is only for Darklighters, but since it's your first visit and you do have the medallion, I'll give you access today, but in the future you'll need to, join the order to receive. So if you came here looking to gear up, he points to a set of stairs that look like they lead down to a basement. That's where you find me. He'll nod his head.
Oh, well, much obliged. My name is Jensen Sharp.
Yeah, you can call me Fitz. I'm the gear man for the Darklighters here in the city.
Darklighters, is that just a name that the hunters have adopted in the city?
Yeah. Darklighters are more focused on the urban warfare that the creatures of the city bring as us. It's not all peas and carrots out here. Let's just say that.
Well, if somewhere would be peas and carrots, then we would be done plumb out of a job.
That's the truth.
I have not seen what the creatures of the urban environment, as you say, but I've encountered a fair view in my tribe. When you say
What do you have?
creatures-
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go. It sounded like you were going to ask the same question I was.
What sort of pests do you have to deal with in the city? Like sewer monsters, or?
You know, I don't know if we've ever had to deal with a sewer monster before, but we had a couple not come back after a nasty pack of werewolves were roaming through in Leon. That was a few months ago now, but not a good time.
Oh, a pack of werewolves in the city.
Well, not anymore. Darklighters took care of it, but we paid a heavy price.
Hope the brothers rest in peace. Right, I might take you up on that, Fitz. Might see what you guys got down there, but it would be nice to enjoy a drink.
Yeah, you do your thing. I gotta get back to work. And he heads to the staircase and disappears down into the basement.
Max will shake his head and mutter, "And I had such high hopes too."
Well, that was clever. That was clever. And that confirms there's suspicions of sewer monsters too. V will be thrilled.
Indeed, he will.
Ten just pretends to drink his beer or whatever they put in front of him.
Yeah.
After once Max's drink is like half down, he takes Ten's beer, pours half of it into his mug, and then slides it back.
Yep. Yeah, he'll just hold it. Bean juice.
Bean juice. Bean. No, well, this would be more like wheat juice. Be close, I would think, but maybe some fermentation and that is interesting. That they it seems like the animals, the creatures, don't just creep in the forest.
Well, I suspect they are like the pigeons or the rats. They adapt.
That's also good for you. Well, that's also good for your occupation.
Yes, well. Kind of want to talk to some of the patrons in here. See if they know anything about anything going on in the city right now. I will get up, and after I finish my first round, I'll go up to the bar. And I'll engage with the bartender if I can.
His tall, kind of dark frame, he kind of leans over the counter and he nods his head. I think I got your name. Jinsen. I am Adewale.
Oh, well, that is quite the name. Pleased, a pleasure to meet you. Do you just run the establishment, or are you one of the Dark Lighters? I've heard so much about it so far.
I was an active Darklighter for quite a long time, but one too many injuries were the straw that broke the camel's back in my case. Now I run the club. Well, Dame Besson really runs it, but I own it.
Good to know. Well, thank you for your service, and hope the injuries still allow you to lead a fulfilling life here.
I still have a purpose, and that's what matters. Internet struggling.
My internet is struggling tonight. I'll say, can you repeat what you said? Actually, part of it cut.
I still have a purpose, and that's what matters.
Knowing your purpose is most of the battle keeps you sane in our profession. I was wondering if I might ask you some questions about the city, since seeing as how I'm new here. If there have been any encounters with with our normal folk, I heard about the werewolves a little bit back, but has the city been plagued by anything else and undeath, vampires, zombies, that sort of thing? You know, the classics.
One of our hunters, Salazar, had a thrall lead him back to a vampire's nest. He took care of them, though. Wasn't here in Bethel Hill. Was somewhere in the Shard.
In the Shard. Well, good to know. Good to know.
You're good. You're good. You're out of it. Keep going.
Yeah. Say, well, that is good to know. Not really on the trail of anything in particular, but I have been hearing some stories about some of those making the way more into the city than they ever have. Thought I'd look into it on my way through.
The city's just like everywhere else. It can breed the darkness, just in its own way. Don't think someone of your talents won't have plenty of uses here. You should take on a Darklighter's case sometime. It might earn you membership.
I would have to consult with my colleagues that I'm traveling with, but yes, it's not to hurt to swell the ranks anywhere we go and to uphold my oath, no matter what you call yourselves. But and then I'll go back. I will buy around for all the patrons in here. The really tall chick, the Spanish-looking dude. And like anybody else that I kind of think looks like a hunter.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll put down that.
It's going to cost you a bit. How much money do you have?
I have like 298 demarks and 20 Dakotas.
Okay. Buying drinks for the whole bar is probably going to cost you like 30 of the demarks. Okay. There's some cheers from the smaller groups. The large woman just kind of nods her head, and the rapier wielder, he kind of turns and he finishes twirling out his mustache as he nods his head to you before he takes a sip from his drink. You're muted.
Muted, James.
Oh, he froze right.
Possibly frozen.
Now he's in it.
Ah, god damn it. I'm not gonna engage any of the other like potential hunters or groups like individually. I'm just gonna like acknowledge each one, kind of ingratiate myself, type of thing. So,
okay.
And then I'll go back to Max and Carten.
Okay.
With a fresh round for me and Max.
What's the general mood like in the room?
It's kind of like dive bar-y. Everyone is kind of wrapped up in their own conversations, but it doesn't feel like negative in any way. Like they come here to relax.
Max would, after they've sat and drank for a little longer, Max would go up to the bar and ask the bartender, do you ever have any entertainment or anything of the sort in here? It seems like these good folks could use some sort of cheering up now and then, I would imagine.
Madame Busson entertains for holidays sometimes. Are you looking to put on a show?
Oh, well, I dabble in this and that, and I travel around, and I just thought, any friend of Jensen is a friend of mine, and if you were interested in such services, I would be happy to put on some sort of complimentary performance for you.
Make a persuasion test. Target number is
Alright.
6.
Okay.
Now, I think that's what's happening.
Nine.
I don't see why it would hurt. You can put out a hat for tips if you want.
Excellent. Most kind of you. I'm sure you'll be seeing. I'm sure you'll be seeing twice the smiles and triple the laughter in no time.
Fantastic.
And Max will tip his hat at him, and then he'll start going around table to table, sort of making conversation, and then doing little tricks with like things on the table, making things seem to disappear, or he'll like where they're playing cards. So like ask if he could see the deck, and then do some card tricks and things like that, and just very simple things to entertain.
All right.
Are
you going to try to put on a whole show right now, or are you going to wait and come back? And
right now, he's just going to do a little like simple table to table thing and not do like a whole performance.
All right. Go make a performance test.
He'll try to make conversation with people, specifically with an ear for like good monster hunting stories.
Okay. Go ahead and make a performance test for me. It's against a target number of 12.
Okay. I got an 8.
Okay.
So close to being a 10 on the D10.
You do hear some stories specifically about a possessed mastiff that had to be taken down in Bethel Hill Park, as well as a ghost that was haunting an old schoolhouse that had been abandoned on the north side of Bethel Hill. Additionally, you make like 10 demarks.
Sweet. Max will appear very engaged in the stories and be, making, asking little questions and making comments, impressed comments and things like that at the appropriate times.
Is there anything else you guys want to do while you're in the Darklighters Club?
I would like to go down and see Fitz before we leave.
Okay.
Or go up or down, wherever, just to take a look. I'm probably not going to take anything from him, but
you basically enter a fully stocked armory.
Yeah.
He also has like a lot of other things. Necklaces made with what look like animal fangs. He has different types of like weird things that look like bombs, maybe, and like pouches of silver dust. He has what looks like a crossbow that fires a specialized bolt with a rope attached to it. Strange totems, hunter hats. He looks like he's shaping a silver-bladed rapier right now at his like little forge in the corner.
Oh. Well, what an impressive selection you have down here.
Thanks. I've been at it for a while now.
I'm gonna go direct to the totems first and stuff and kind of look through them. Do I recognize any as like other lodge emblems or anything like that?
No, you don't.
No?
They look more like things that Charlotte had on her.
Okay, sure. Cool. I will kind of like that. That'll cross my mind. I'll kind of like let out a small smile. I'll say, to be honest, I am not long since I've been to my own lodge. I do not mean to take anything from here, but it is good to know that if I need something in the city, I can come. I would be willing to pay as well. It's not just hoping to get.
You get without a walleye and you do that Dark Lighter's exam, and then you can come anytime you want.
Well, I appreciate it. Was there anything like especially weird or that caught my eye specifically, or was it just like the fact that it was so much different things?
He's got a rack of different like traps. He's definitely got like a lot of different supplies that help with like actual monster hunting. It also looks like he's got like a little station that's used for enchanting. You're not sure what kind of enchanting, but
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, good to know. I won't. Actually, wasn't the. I would never. I think I see all the traps and I think about Phil, and I think I would never replace Phil.
sure.
Yeah, that's it.
Phil, the goodest boy, bear
Phil, the
trap.
goodest boy. Yep. There is a pet in the campaign. He's just a bear trap. He's not a bear. He's a bear trap.
Gonna head back upstairs to them.
Yeah, I will.
As you get back upstairs, you see Carton watching it. What?
Have they left me at the table by myself?
Basically.
Probably.
He's just doing what he's mirrored from the rest of them.
This is delicious wheat juice.
Juice.
Nobody is taking any time to pay attention to that in the room.
Perfect. We
But
want no one to pay attention.
Jensen does gather you up as Maximilian finishes working over the people in the room, and as the three of you exit the Darklighters Club, you see V and Thurasane and what appears to be the driver laid out in one of the carriage seats.
Well, how did he get that drunk that quick?
He didn't. There was a creepy female vampire that put him to sleep.
Elizabeth.
I will look with a shocked look on my face to Dare. Yeah, this just out of the blue, it came up to you.
Yes, from the alley over there. I did not want to attack. And she said
Dead.
she was curious about my habits in town, how I'm acquiring my food, and why I'm traveling with one such as yourself. I don't know for sure, but she could be the one who was spying on the manor.
She did not say specifically. She did not confess anything, I should say.
She did not confirm my suspicion, nor did she deny it.
Alright. I will.
Was toughened up.
Yes, she did imply there were more in her group.
Well, alright then. That is. Well, information is good, but that is concerning. The Darklighters didn't seem to didn't mention any large covens, so they must be working pretty in the shadow, well in the shadows.
It was really cool.
This is the first time hearing of others as well. First time anyone's approached me, at least.
Alright. Well, I think I put a good foot forward with these Darklighters, and they are, in fact, just monster hunters that took on a more urban name. But, yeah, legitimate operation here, I must say. It's good to know.
And depending on how further meetings with this Elizabeth go, perhaps we acquire their services.
Right. is, yes. Like I said, and Max seemed to make an even better impression than me if I'm to guess anything. But yeah, so did she seem annoyed, I guess, or upset that there was a new one of her kin in town?
Struck me as more curious.
All right.
Wanted to know if our paths might align going forward. I take it if I don't do what they want me to, or how they live their lives, we would have a big issue.
And you say that she knew that I was traveling with you.
She did not mention you by name, but she did mention I was traveling with a monster hunter.
Sure. Good to know. I imagine I would not be welcome wherever her company is. But
I told her to send word, a letter, to the manor if she wishes to discuss further. So I may have a meeting with more like myself in the future.
all right. Does cause my innards to broil a little bit, but I think that's just a learned thing that will have to fade with time when it concerns you and your new way of life. And while we're talking, I'm gonna glance down at my sword through that and like pluck the new scabbard piece open and see if my sword's glowing.
It is not.
However, she did make Glenn unconscious. Some sort of dog, or I wasn't entirely sure what happened actually. He seems fine now.
I'm guessing a spell.
Can we not wake him up? Is it a magical sleep?
He
He's not
said he
waking
would
up
wake
yet.
within a few hours.
What I'm merely getting at is, do you know how to drive a carriage?
I mean, I can drive a carriage, yes. All right, move over, Sleeping Beauty. I'll kind of like pick him up and like put him up against the side. Put more sitting up on his side and clamber up.
Do you want to start guiding the carriage to the end of Buck Alley where the secret entrance to the night market is?
Yeah, I'll need some directions, but yes.
I'll guide you there.
Yep.
And as you guys leave the Darklighters Club behind, I think we should go ahead and take our 15-minute break. Around the time the carriage reaches the end of the lane, all of you can see a dip in the cobblestone. A long, gradual ramp downwards to what looks like a maintenance entrance to the sewer line underneath the city block. Around this time, Glenn has also groggily woken up. Man, I just got really tired all of a sudden. Oh, my head.
How are you feeling?
Awful. My head is killing me.
Well, you kind of broke your fall with your face on the
Yes,
ground.
You passed out rather suddenly.
It's the worst way to break a fall.
It doesn't
Yeah,
look like
it
anything
really
had been,
is.
permanently damaged.
Yeah,
Are you feeling up for getting back to the manor?
Yeah, I can do that probably. Maybe
Well, why don't you take yourself back to the manor and rest up? We can find our own ways back.
All right. All of you pile out of the carriage. He leans out. Are you sure, boss? I can just wait here.
No, you took a pretty nasty fall. You should, well, try and stay awake for a while, but then rest up. Just relax.
All right. He guides the horse back around, and it slowly the carriage leaves all of your view, heading back towards the manor. Muted or something. I can't hear you.
Yeah, I was pushed to talk. He kind of like calls out, but not really. Like, when you call out obviously too late to someone, and you go, "Oh, kiss all right now, they're Glenn." I just say that to myself. I think I'm very funny. I am.
'Cause you are. All right, how would you guys like to proceed?
I'll go open the manhole cover, I'm guessing is where we're entering the sewers.
It's actually like a short arched doorway.
Oh, okay.
When you walk up to it and you try to turn the wheel like at its center, though, it appears to be locked.
I'll move over for Dare to try to pick the lock.
This isn't really a pickable lock. It should be releasing on the wheel by spinning the wheel, but the wheel won't spin.
Oh, in that case, I'll just apply all of my force to it.
Okay. Make an athletics test. It's against a target number of 18.
18. So. I have a +4. That's 17.
Yeah. Even with all your strength, all you're able to do is not shift it at all.
Can I take a look at it?
Sure.
See if there's like a trick to it or something?
Roll a study test if you want. Target number is going to be 10.
Nine.
Both of us found one short.
It definitely feels like there's a trick to it. But you haven't found anything to give you a clue to what the trick is.
It definitely seems like there's something to this, but I can't quite figure it out.
Max would take a look around through the dragon shard just in case.
Sure. Make a perception test. The target number is 6.
1 moment. Hey, I got a 12.
So running the dragon shard over it on the brick on the outside of the door, you do notice that there's 4 bricks that are glowing. They appear to be enchanted.
Can I tell anything about the enchantment?
You can tell that it's an arcane enchantment.
Okay.
It's a fairly powerful enchantment. It's pretty old. Like it's been around for a long time.
Do the bricks look like they can be moved?
When you're not looking at them through the dragon shard, they appear to be exactly like all the other bricks around them.
Are they like mortared into place?
They appear that way, yes.
Max will gently reach out and touch one.
when you touch it, it doesn't shift or react, but you feel this kind of like hum of energy running through your fingertip. It's definitely magical.
Okay, he'll touch each of them in turn and see if he feels anything different about them.
Each one does feel slightly different. The reaction of the energy that it gives you is kind of like hitting different notes on an instrument.
Well, there appear to be a series of enchanted bricks here. Wouldn't have been my first choice, but clearly I wasn't consulted. Regardless, I assume they have something to do with the way in which this door is sealed, but I'm not quite sure what to make of it. They have a slightly different frequency, perhaps, to them. Perhaps there's some sort of password, some sort of sequence, but I'm not quite sure how to determine what it is.
Did you try and touch them from lowest frequency to highest frequency? Or
I
vice
can try
versa?
that. He'll go ahead and try that and then see what happens.
Sure. You go from lowest frequency to highest frequency and nothing happens. And then you go from highest frequency to lowest frequency and nothing happens. Both times when you do it that way, the reaction the energy gives you is kind of like playing a series of notes in the wrong order.
Would I get any sense of any of them like making a chord or harmonizing in some way?
You do feel like there's some like harmonization happening with like the energy that's clearly like shared between them.
Does anything different happen if he touches multiple of them at the same time?
So you reach out and you touch a couple of them, and they seem to hit like kind of like a bad chord, like out of tune.
He'll try a few different combinations of touching two at once.
You shift your hand up to the top middle and then down to the bottom left, and when you hit those, they seem to harmonize together.
Well, I appear to have found a pair that harmonize, but I'm not quite sure what good that does us. Perhaps if I try other combinations, and I'll try to see if either of the other notes. He'll see if the other two harmonize, and then he'll see if either of those individually harmonize with the pair that did.
Okay. So you switch hands and you press on the other two, and they don't seem to harmonize together. Then you shift up to that top middle one, and you press that with one of the ones you didn't press it with. Doesn't harmonize together. When you release from all of them, the rest of you see kind of like a glint across each of the 4 bricks. Like messing with them has made them start to like glow a little bit more noticeably. So you don't need the dragon shard anymore to like identify them.
Oh. Well, what if 2 of us both make a harmonizing chord at the same time? We should try that.
Yes, Jensen, old chap, why don't you touch these 2 here? Tell me if you feel anything.
You talking to me? I'm sorry, you cut out.
Yeah, he said Jensen.
Okay.
Oh yes, sir. Jensen.
I mean, yeah, I will have watched you and kind of like your facial expressions, and I'll go for the ones that harmonized for you first.
Okay.
The same.
So you kind of shift around. Eventually, you're holding the 2 that are farthest to the left, and they're harmonizing together. So you found a different set that harmonizes. It's not a sound. It's not a sound, but it's a feeling you can feel.
Yeah,
kind of like a thrum through your fingertips.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say when I get to the too far left ones, I'll go, oh, Mr. Max. This one sounds the most beautiful to me.
And that's not the pair that harmonized when I touched them? Is that right?
It's a different combination. But it's using one of the ones you used that harmonized.
Max will say, "What? No, that's not right. No, let me." And he'll sort of gently push Jensen away, and he'll try those two.
Sorry.
Doesn't harmonize for you.
How about I push these two, and you push the two that harmonized for you at the same time?
I'm concerned you made me whatever the equivalent of tone deaf is here, Jensen, but I'm willing to try it.
So here's the problem with that. When you both go to try to do that, each of you are pressing down on the same one on the far left and a different one with your other hand.
And that's just not possible.
Well, when you do it, there's like a moment where those two are being held and one of you is feeling the harmonization, and then when the third one gets pressed down, the harmonization ends.
So they don't seem to like it when more than two are pressed at the same time?
Or at least they don't like
those
it.
three being pressed all together definitely isn't the right combination.
Can I go up to the wall and try to touch some bricks to see if any different ones feel harmonizing to me?
Yeah, you step up as they're releasing, and you put your hands on the two to the right, and there's a brief moment where you feel a surge of energy, and then the brick that you're pressing on the far right starts to crumble under your fingertips.
We've touched many times.
I'm magical, guys. I didn't know I could do that.
What happened? What happened to that brick?
Durasane, you can go ahead and make another study test. Keep going with the roleplay. Target number is 12.
Well, I must have touched it too hard and made it disintegrate.
And here I was worried about Jensen being tone deaf.
Well, now I know I should have been insulted.
There was like a surge, though. Did you guys get a surge of something?
No.
Not how I would describe it.
Durasane, you notice that there are hinges on both sides of the door.
Is there a seam in the middle?
No. When you first walked up, it looked like you loosen the wheel and then you swing it right to left. But now you're realizing that embedded in the right side, which was the side you thought it was going to swing open from, there's another set of hinges.
Well, clearly the walls swing open around the door.
Oh, damn it.
So you're saying I should just try and pull the door straight out? I'll go up to the wheel, and this time instead of turning it, I'm just going to try and pull it straight out with all of my strength.
Okay. Are you cool with him trying that?
I'm not gonna stop him.
Okay. Athletics test. Target number is 18.
Jeez.
Oh my god, a fucking 17 again. I rolled a 12 and a 1.
The wheel comes off the door.
Jeez.
Oh. When I saw the 12 come up, I was like, oh, this is guaranteed as long as it's not a fucking 1.
I think
I
you guys have never been
partially
to the night
open.
market before.
Well, now that the wheel is off, does it look like the wheel is actually meant to do anything? Or is it there just a wheel on the door?
I'll let you study where the wheel was connected if you want.
Yeah.
I think you could apply your detective easy to this.
Can I investigate as well? I have a sleight of hand.
So it would
I
be a
still
12, but it would go to a 9. What do you want to investigate it as well? You can do a study test.
Sure. I was seeing they were trying to pick it earlier. Still no possibility of picking the lock.
At this point, you'd probably need to try to make some kind of mechanics check to take apart the door, which you might be able to do. But there's 2 sets of hinges, so you got to figure out which side you want to take it apart from.
I'm just getting worse.
Well, I'll just investigate and see if I can. Can I
It's a
assist
study
anybody
test
in here?
against 12.
I got a 4.
Oh, jeez. That is worse. Well, what are you guys going to try to do?
I can't even hit a 12. So
Come on, you guys can't let a door stump you.
Did we look at the bricks on the other side of the door?
So the
Can I
bricks that you
grapple
guys were
up?
pressing were like kind of on either side of the door arch. There were a couple that were high up, and then one farther to the left and one farther to the right.
And which brick did I disintegrate?
The far right one.
The far, lower right one, or the
Yes,
upper?
the lower right one, which is also farthest to the right. You only partially disintegrated it.
Can I stick my hand further in that partially dissolved brick hole?
Sure, do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make an unarmed attack.
No protection? Damn.
Oh, okay. I'm attacking it. I like it. 12.
Okay. You press your hand, and as all of you are watching, the glint brightens more and more intensely across the four bricks that were hidden in kind of the mismatched wall. And then with a flash, each one of them, their magic dissipates.
I did something, guys.
The door swings open from left to right.
I did it.
I think it'd be best
Somehow I'm-
to not mention this to anyone in Night Market.
Yeah, somehow I don't think this was the intended method of ingress, but I suppose you did get the door open.
I think if you knew how these doors would have opened, you would have gotten it open. So, this is probably how they were supposed to work, because that's how I got it open,
just
Yes,
put
yes,
the
and-
wheel here.
Shall we?
A thief with a crowbar was meant to get into the house.
Well, I just replaced the crowbar with my hand.
V, your hands are a substitute for a multitude of tools.
That's true. All right, where are we going in?
Yes.
Let's do it.
The soft chatter of bustling crowds moving through the stone underworks of this part of the lower districts greets your ears. Sorry, James, you're not showing as online.
Yeah, I know. So, I'm not?
Yeah, on just so I cannot invite you until you are
Is
showing
this-
as online.
Night market seemed familiar to me.
No. There's a long alley that stretches out ahead of all of you, full of shops and crowds. You can see a barber's pole spinning with a top hat at the top of it. A sign hanging low, one of its 3 chains snapped, causing it to kind of hang even lower at more of an angle outside the entrance, and inside an older man and a younger man looking very, very similar, each doling out a haircut to a youth. The sign reads Baron von Barber. And just past that, some kind of leatherworking shop, a pottery shop, some other small storefronts, tavern faces, and inn entrances that look pretty shady, leading out into a square that's dominated by a step front that leads up into an old museum called the Museum of the Macabre. And just past that, a little pie shop with a tent sitting out next to it. A colorful kind of purple tent with gold trims. And then an open courtyard with low-hanging tarps where people are sitting out eating. It looks like most of them going to a eel cart. And then a large tavern face kind of dominating the back corner of the night market. The bucket of blood. And next to it, a strange door that's at the front of a ramshackle building. It looks like it's called the Cabinet of Curiosities. All these little pockets of life and strange signs leading to darkly lit stores. And how would all of you like to proceed?
Anything in particular catching anyone's eye?
Well, there's a certain establishment that has gotten my curiosity, if you catch my drift.
I would also like to look at that.
Really, Doctor, and here I thought the tavern would be more your speed, gesturing at the sign.
I'm set for now. Perhaps later.
Once I belonged in a couple of those stores. Like they'd want to, like the history of Macabre, I feel like they would put me on display or something.
It's a good thing you are not part of history quite yet.
There's keep going with the roleplay.
At least in a macabre way.
I guess. But technically, you know, anybody who's been live for like a second has already been part of history, just like a really, really tiny window of it.
That is true. Living history, I should say. Well,
all-
I could
The guy
say
was
that
ever
now
part
that
of
I-
living history.
Yeah. What an incredible paradox you are, V.
Do I live outside the realms of history?
That is a question for the philosophers, I think.
Say, 10. Is anything piquing your interest?
And while you guys have all been bantering, is just kind of casually walked into the middle of the court area with all the people eating, and he's just looking around. But still trying to seem inconspicuous with the cloak up.
Tin,
Don't
you,
wanna alert anybody.
you see there's a sign out front of the purple and gold trim tent that says Lafalda's Third Eye. And there's a sign to another storefront at the front of one of the other alley entrances that says Mother Goose's Pie Shop.
Do either of them look remotely familiar to me?
No.
Or do I feel drawn in any way to either?
No, not in particular.
The first one you said, though, was
Lafalda's Third Eye.
Perhaps we could enter to the eye. Then they'll
and I'll just kind of point towards the one place.
Does seem like an
Well,
interesting place.
As good as place as any to start.
Third Eye sounds like some sort of charlatan, but if you insist.
It
As
could
all-
be somebody that actually has a third eye. He's got an extra one like right there.
Well, maybe we'll find our sewer monster more easily than I thought.
Perhaps she could tell us how to properly open the door.
I'm gonna
As we
hold
are-
up the wheel from the door that I'm probably still carrying around.
V,
You don't
should,
think it was
Also, maybe
supposed
we
to
should
open
look
like
into-
that?
V, you should drop that somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll
Yes,
toss it off to the side.
You hear
Yes,
a cat.
as we are-
You hear a cat scream in the alley.
As we are already inside, I think it would be wise if we allow everyone else to assume that we did so in the proper manner. And he'll
Understood.
kind of give V a little side glare.
I'm still not convinced that wasn't.
As all of you head to Lafalda's Third Eye, you pass the front of the Museum of the Macabre. The eel salesman doling out some eel soup. It appears that his cart is actually quite popular. And you can see draped across the front of the museum's small front are 4 exhibit banners. The first one, The 100 Deaths of Orson Wilde. The second one, The Cult of the Serpent. The third exhibit, Cannibalism on the Frontier. And the fourth exhibit, The Madness of Dr. Death. You can also all see that at the back of the alley that the pie shop is at the front of appears to be some kind of tattoo parlor. And who all is going into Lafalda's Third Eye? It's a relatively small tent. It looks like it probably just houses, like, the person and their table.
I'll stand.
Stay outside.
I'll go in.
Okay. Carton, are you going in?
Yeah, I'm gonna walk in.
Max?
Max will stay outside.
The two of you that do enter are greeted by an elderly blind woman. Her features kind of perk up on her face. Huh. Welcome. Did one of you come for a reading?
Yes.
She holds out one of her hands. One to coat.
I'll hand it over.
Thank you.
Do you sit down, Carton?
Yeah, I sit down and I put a hand out gingerly.
Her two hands reach out. Despite her blindness, their movement elegant and deft. She traces her fingers, aged, bone thin, with short cut nails over your metallic hand. I am sorry, I cannot read. I cannot read you. You can have your money back.
He takes his hand back and takes the coin back and hands it over.
And in your experience, do you know of anyone who could?
Not as far as I'm aware. My gift is mine own, but it requires flesh to function. I could read you, if you wish.
I don't think that would be the best idea.
Very well. The third eye is close to you, but only this day. I'll be here tomorrow.
I will keep that in mind.
Those of you that are standing outside see the two of them exit. They weren't in there for very long.
Did we hear any of that?
Nope.
Well, that was quick.
I was unable to get any additional information.
It was a psychic. She said she was unable to read our new friend.
Well,
We will look down at his hand. Do you think it'd be a good idea if she could read me?
Well,
I
I'd
would
say that
assume
entirely
I'll-
depends on
Best if we
which
didn't.
voices in your head do those hands belong to.
I'm gonna look at the probably like 2 or 3 different skin colors that are stitched together to make up my hands. I think I'm like from all over everywhere. But maybe we could learn more about the other people.
we
feel
could
like
scare
that
the
could
the
be a-
ever-loving.
Good information to get, but only if it was coming from someone we could trust, not someone who sets up a tent in the market.
I mean, if she doesn't start talking about other people, we probably can't trust her. I say if she gets to the other people, she's probably legit.
She's also blind.
If you really want to get Red V, we can do it. I don't think it's the best idea though.
Let's back later.
I would like to see it having just to see the reaction on her face.
I'll let you know when I want to go get it done.
Sounds good.
Well, if you ask me, it's for the best. She probably would have simply said, your dead relative wants to talk to you, and you would have said a name, and she said, yes, of course, that one, and then it would have been a whole thing.
You don't think she's much of an entertainer, do you?
Max will roll his eyes and say, with a tent like that in a place like this, she clearly doesn't know her audience.
I think people here aren't really looking for a show.
People here are looking for things they can't find out on the street. They're looking for a show, yes, but a very specific kind.
Perhaps you
But
should
ain't
set
she-
up a tent, Max.
But don't they have palm readers like that out on the street all the time?
Precisely. And why would you come here for something you could find on any street corner in the city?
Yeah, but see, that also makes me think she's probably legit if she is still thriving in the underground world when she could just go be a charlatan on the street and get a lot more foot traffic.
If this is what you'd consider thriving, then I suppose.
I mean, she hasn't been run out for being a phony.
I see you have been training your reading, V.
Yeah, I read it like 3 pages last night. I'm really speeding up. I didn't think that book you had on business was ever going to come in handy, but I guess that was wrong.
That forward is quite informative.
I think it was called the... I don't remember what it's called. I think it was the Index. It said at the top.
Hmm.
I'm just kind of smiling, laughing at this conversation.
The curiosities piqued my interest.
One of the exhibits at the Macabre Museum peeked mine.
Well, where shall we go first?
We'll find towards the curiosities first. Just like also to stop there at some point
We can
if
do
we get
that.
the chance.
Cabinet of Curiosities is at the far side of the market. It's going to be past the pie shop and the tattoo parlor, right next to the Bucket of Blood Tavern. You guys want to head over there?
If there are no objections, I'll start walking over there.
As everyone starts heading away from the tent, Max will just sort of casually pull out the dragon shard, dust it off in his vest, and take a quick peek at the tent through it.
The tent is entirely magical.
Max will... Oh, go ahead.
No, keep going. It's like every fiber of the fabric.
Max will curse to himself under his breath and shake his head, and then put the dragon shard away and hurry to catch up with everyone else.
The Cabinet of Curiosities is a small, ramshackle shop made entirely of spare building parts that seem to lean haphazardly towards the eastern side of the building. Entering the shop, all of you are greeted by a cluttered space. So cluttered it makes it seem small. Rows of racks of random objects, mostly just strange junk, lines this whole storefront. There's a single attendant in this store, if you could call it an attendant at all. Because really, it just appears to be a human skeleton, an entirely clean skeletal body. It appears, in fact, to be completely intact, even from your medical eye, Thurasane. There's not a bone missing. But its head is being gripped in its hands and is resting in its lap. And its jaw is extended wide, with a dark crystalline orb resting between its teeth. Go ahead and make perception tests.
Yeah.
I'm great at those.
I got a 9.
16.
I got a 9. That's the second best I could do.
I got a 3.
Amongst the junk, all of you find little things strange, but I guess one could perhaps describe them as interesting. Card 10, you find a small cinched baggie that when you open, glows softly with a humming purple energy. It looks like it has some kind of strange dust-like material in it, but you're not sure what that material is. Some kind of ground mineral. Next to it is a rose encased in glass that looks, despite the dust and age of the glass around it, as if it was just picked fresh this very day. While down one of the other aisles, Jensen, you find a rain stick that seems to be just slightly wet, leaned next to a mop that is furiously bouncing off of one of the corner walls as it's trying to continually clean the space around it. Just past that, Max, you find a pair of worn leather boots that are, well, they seem pretty heavy, like when you try to lift them. But very stably designed. And hanging off a hook above them is a strange medallion, a curio, like a small glowing crystal orb cinched around a leather necklace. When you look at it, you notice that there's letters in golden light flickering off of its surface, but it's in a language you've never seen before. V. Yes.
Do the boots appear magical?
Yes. When you run the dragon shard over them, they are.
Okay.
It appears to be primal magic.
Mm.
V. As you're moving to Durasane, you find a strange set of chimes, wind chimes, hanging off of one of the shelves. They have magical glowing lettering kind of written across the carved wood of each of the chimes. And Durasane, you find what appears to be a very sharp, blood-stained dagger. It's sitting in like a padded red velvet box that looks like it was made for the dagger to lay in, but you notice that the blood on the blade appears to be fresh. I hope you guys were taking notes, because those are all the interesting things you found in the Cabinet of Curiosities.
Max will begin going over the boots and the thing with the glowy letters with magical sight to try to determine the details of its magical nature.
So you're pretty sure the boots have a magical enchantment on them that prevents the creature that's wearing them from being knocked prone. The curio is a total mystery to you. You feel like you're not going to be able to figure out what it's for or if it's useful without first coming to understand the language that's written on it.
Is it also primal?
It is not. It is arcane.
Okay.
They do not feel related to each other than being placed close to each other in the shop.
All right.
What is everybody
if anyone else points out any of the things they've seen, he'd look over those.
Point out the wind chimes.
I'll do the same. I'll bring the mineral dust over towards him as well.
Max, you recognize this baggie. It is a bag of amphidite. And this residue, the residue in it can be used to replace a material component when you're activating a power. If you would require one. Max, this would include allowing you to cast a spell without having your spell book in hand.
Neat.
I'll hand it to one of them.
The wind chimes, the magic in them appears to be otherworldly, as far as you can tell. It appears to you that if the incantation on them is read and they're activated, the person that activates them can choose an unconscious creature and awaken them.
Interesting.
The power that's in them does not feel reliable, though. Like, they probably can't be used very often.
I didn't have any money, did I?
No, I didn't give you any money.
Nope. All right, just checking.
Your boss had your money. You made money for him. He was your bot pimp.
All
right, what is everybody else doing? Other things were found.
I'll point out the dagger.
Max will take a look at the dagger.
The dagger is also otherworldly in its source and is magical. You can feel you're detecting like this, like a long and bloody history that has imbued itself to this dagger, making it extremely deadly. In fact, you feel like it has kind of like this power within it that the wielder can activate to like make one attack in particular extremely deadly.
You said the blood on it looked fresh?
Yes.
With my fancy vampire nose, can I tell if it actually is fresh, or does it actually seem fresh, or just look fresh?
It's not. When you try to inspect it, you can tell that it's not really fresh blood. It's like a side effect of the magical enchantment on the blade that causes an effect that kind of is like a magical mimicking of fresh blood that like leaves the blade always dripping.
So when I say it actually is blood, or not?
Everything about it makes it seem exactly like blood, but you can tell that it won't satiate you.
Gotcha.
You said it was in a case, right?
It has like a box, like a red velvet box that it's sitting in.
Can I
That's
pick it
also
up?
very old. So just mechanically, so you're aware what it does. So the person who's wielding it, their attacks with the dagger have a +2 bonus. Okay. And when you attack with it and you roll a maximum on both your attribute and your skill dice on the attack. So each dice you roll the maximum result you can. You can choose to deal damage equal to the attribute dice result instead of what your normal damage would be.
What?
Dang.
Once you do that, the blade shatters.
I have marked too, so I could re-roll one of those dice. Normally, as long as I mark somebody.
That's crazy. It's potentially so much damage.
So much damage.
It's
For one shot.
Yeah, but like
it's a golden gun.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is
In the right hands, it's a golden gun.
Chekhov's gun.
I'm gonna walk over to the rain stick and the mop. I'm gonna say, well, I bet you we could put this to use back at the manor, Doctor. It seems to really want to do its job very thoroughly.
It starts mopping your boots.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I should even address you. I'm gonna.
Oh wow! Do the magically enchanted slave mops have rights or not, James? You tell us.
Not here. Mickey Mouse says.
This is the 1880s, man.
That's just fantasy. That's just fantasy. Yeah, then he's gonna pick up the rain stick and like, do I think it's wet because of the stupid mop, or do I think it's wet because it might be an enchanted rain stick?
It just seems like it just seems slick to the touch. It doesn't feel like the mop. You didn't see the mop mopping it.
But like you said, it was like splashing water and shit. So I don't know. Anyways.
Yes, it was.
I will hold this out to Max and I'll say, if you be so kind, is this rain stick any kind of magical, or is the mop just an overzealous enchanted artifact?
Max will give it a once over.
Yeah, you actually find magical instructions written in arcane dialect on the side of this rain stick.
Convenient.
It's the structure of its enchantment is actually like pretty pristine. Like the person who did this was like really good at magical coding, basically. So you can spend your deed to choose to turn the rain stick over, and a rain cloud appears approximately 100 feet above your head and rains down on a 5-foot radius for exactly 6 seconds, which is how long it takes for the rice after it turns over to settle at the new bottom of the rain stick. Also, there's a note in the instructions that if you turn it 100 or more times in the same 24-hour period, the rain stick will explode, okay? But the rice inside of it will have a pleasant aroma and be fully cooked and slightly spicy.
That side. Okay.
So it's also good for a hot meal. You just got to turn it 100 times.
It's fucking hilarious. It's a rice stick.
Yes, it does appear this would come in handy, Jensen, if you ever need in need of a shower while on the road. The mop, however, it does not appear to be enchanted. It simply likes its job.
It rushes past you guys as it's mopping the floor.
Well,
See? If only the dear doctor staff had half this enthusiasm.
true.
Damn, calling out the workers. This is why they need to unionize.
I was gonna be. This broom seems very anti-union.
We'll replace them all with AI mops.
Yeah. Alright, it's getting too real. This isn't why we play this game.
Yeah.
Or is it? It's to exercise our demons. Makes you wonder what Ant's demons are, since he's playing the robot assassin.
I'm standing right here, guys.
So what do you guys want to do? You've found a bunch of curious things in the Cabinet of Curiosities.
I need to find a way to make some money.
Can we look on them? Is there like a price? There's a price somewhere? Nope. Oh, okay.
Max would look around for the proprietor of the establishment.
Yeah.
There's just the skeleton that's holding its own skull with the crystal in its mouth.
Has it moved or done anything?
No.
Is it magical?
Yes.
Can I tell anything about the nature of the magic?
Otherworldly.
Well, not seeing anybody else to talk to, Max will go up to the skeleton and sort of look it in the eye
Socket.
and frown a bit. The eye socket. And frown a bit and say, am I correct that you might be able to help us with purchases?
The surface of the crystal swirls and then settles on golden script of just pure magical writing. Yes.
Well, there are a handful of items that have piqued our interest, and I would like to ask about the pricing, if that's all right. He'll motion whoever is closest to like bring their whatever they found over, so we can show it to the skeleton.
The script swirls. Prices, maybe.
He'll hold up the bag of dust and say, and what about for this one?
The script swirls and settles on 10 decotes.
And how many demarks in a decode again?
10.
Okay, so it'd be 100.
There'll be 100 demarks.
One sec. Anyone else interested in buying anything?
Yeah, Cartoon will grab the dagger and pass it over to you.
Okay. Max will say, and this disturbingly moist dagger here.
20 decotes.
Okay. And the rain stick?
8 demarks.
I will definitely be purchasing that.
Quite the bargain, quite the bargain. And what about these chimes?
3 decotes.
I don't
And
think
the,
I have much use for it if you guys want it. I'm not.
What?
I was just saying V doesn't really have any interest in buying the wind chimes unless one of you guys is to get them.
And the boots back in the corner over there. The very sturdy looking ones.
5 decotes.
Jensen or V, actually, either of you, one of you might want to see if those boots are in your size. They appear to help one keep their footing.
Oh, like in a fight. Give you a little more balance.
Yes, that sort of thing. Seems up your alley.
Might be good
That would
for
actually-
you or our new friend.
That's true.
I don't think
I
he
would
probably wants to fall on the ground.
I mean, I'm probably gonna hit more often than you, Carten.
Hopefully.
But yeah, hopefully. I was
You probably have the 5 Dakotas and he doesn't, so.
I
don't have
do.
anybody. You guys
But
do
I-
what you
Yeah, I have a decent amount of. So Jensen would be willing to pitch in for some.
Can you remind me, DeMarc, Dakota, which one's the more valuable one?
Dakota is the more valuable one.
Okay, and then 10 DeMarc.
10 Demarcs makes a Dakota. 10 Dakotas makes a
Okay.
galleon.
How many Dakotas was the knife?
8.
It was
Wait,
No,
no,
I think it was
10.
20.
20.
20?
I thought you
Yeah,
said
20. 20, 10, 5. And then it was
I'll
8,
I'll
Demarc.
I'll buy the knife for Carten.
Perfect. He might need that to stab to Asane in the back. I mean, what?
Exactly.
Max will say, hold on. Let's see if we can get some sort of bulk discount.
All right, Max.
He'll say that in
Negotiate.
a
Who you
I'm gonna look between him and the skeleton.
It remains emotionless.
and then he'll turn back to the skeleton and say, and that little curio hanging over the boots. What about that one?
1 Dakota.
Can you tell me anything about it?
No.
I suspected as much.
Best salesman ever.
Would you be interested in buying anything? I'm asking the skeleton.
Well, good.
Are you showing it anything that you would have for sale?
I hold up Glint that I used and is broken. So this one seems to have lost its power, but if you have means of re-enchanting or fixing, it is an object that can hold power.
What all are you guys
Achoo.
trying to buy? The boots?
I was gonna buy the knife for
Let's just get everything that you're
Carten.
trying to buy. The boots, the knife, the curio,
the rain stick.
Max would also want
rain stick,
the bag of dust.
the
and-
right?
Yeah.
Do we want the unknown crystal?
Because unknown crystals have never done anything bad to anyone.
Well, yeah, he was trying to get the ancient curio.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
He was.
I will happily
So
owe
you're
you
not
20
getting the undying
for that.
rose, the magical mop, or the chimes. Okay.
Well, what did the Undying Rose do? Did Max look at that one?
It's primal magic. It just appears to not wilt or die at all. It's like it's freshly picked, even though it's ancient.
That's something a
No.
cheesy guy might buy a girlfriend and say, "My love will live for you as long as this rose does."
Uh,
It will
No,
take them off.
Would you like a self-sweeping mop for your mansion, Doctor?
That'll put somebody out of a job.
It won't put them out of a job, but it would give them more time to do other tasks.
I mean, I'll
Although,
pay
if that's
I
gone,
think
if that's gone, I'm not sure who's going to clean this shop.
Does it matter?
Well,
He's selling it.
the proprietor appears to be a skeleton, so They may not care. How much for the mop?
The orb offers a trade of the mop and the rain stick for the broken glint.
That is a good deal to me.
Be my guest.
Yeah, I'll trade the dagger over.
All right, so the mop and the rain stick are acquired.
Well, I also might have something that's just not been very useful to me that I would be willing to trade to, get a little bit more discount. I'll take the fake cloak out.
The what?
Fake cloak.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
What's did that one do again?
That's
Spending a deed, a creature can cover themselves in the cloak and remain still, allowing the cloak to shift their appearance into that of a tree, boulder, or other natural structure of their size.
Oh, yeah.
Creatures that observe a creature obscured this way make a perception roll against the target. I don't know the second. I don't have the second page of that with me.
The skeleton.
Success, they do through the illusion. Yeah. Anyway.
The skeleton will offer a trade of the ancient curio and the boots of bracing for the fey cloak.
I've never ended up using it, and we are in the city right now. That specifically has natural structures.
Nobody ever suspects the rock that magically appeared in the middle of the road behind them in any video game I've ever played.
If you're Solid Snake, all you need is a cardboard box.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's a good trade. I would be willing to trade the cloak for that.
That leaves the small bag of amphitrite, the dagger of deadliness.
Dagger of
Deadliness.
I'll pull out the.
It'll be a total of. He's asking for 30 decotes for those.
I'll pull out the endless hourglass that I have and have never found a use for.
Okay.
Or ever got identified past it's an endless hourglass.
And you're offering it as trade?
Yeah.
The skeleton will trade you the dagger of deadliness, the small bag of amphitrite, and we'll throw in the undying rose for that.
Damn.
What does that
Damn.
do?
I don't know.
Maybe don't get rid of that.
Has Max looked at the hourglass?
Yes, he knows that he knows that it's an arcane magic item, but you guys have never figured out what it does. Past that, it does seem to endlessly flow no matter what side you turn it on.
I'm gonna look startled at you guys for the amount that was just offered.
Well,
We're dual scale that, I don't think.
It's a
I believe together we have the money to cover the rest, so let's hang on to that one for the moment. It seems to be more valuable than we realized.
And,
I mean, he's basically saying that's worth 31 decotes.
Yeah, which is more than anything else that he was selling.
Yeah, it's slightly more than those two items. Yes.
What would you offer for one of these? And I'll hold out one of the gold crowns that we got in Old Lambeth. The coin.
The orb swirls. It will trade you the bag of amphitrite for it, which would just leave the dagger for the 20 decotes.
Just curious what you would place its value at. I think I'll hold on to it.
Okay.
I will gladly pitch the 5 decotes I would have used on the boots.
Yeah, I'll throw in 5 decotes. That's a quarter of what I was going to just buy the dagger for.
That leaves 20
decotes. Max wants the dust, so he'll throw in 10 decotes for that.
Okay. You guys need 10
And
working
then-
coats between all of you for the dagger.
I can throw in 100 demarks.
Okay.
That's so 9 now is left.
No, that means
No,
that
100 demarks is 10
10.
to coats.
Oh,
It's 10 to
okay.
1.
10 to 10.
Right.
All right.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Max will throw in 3 more for the chimes.
Okay. He'll take that deal. Let me.
And he'll say, and I'm even willing to pay full price as you appraised our items for free.
Thanks. And is there anything else you guys would like to do in the Cabinet of Curiosity?
Oh, what a cool vendor, though. Skeleton that just sits there.
And we used him like Pawn Stars. Just to appraise.
Still.
I was about to sell him something I thought was nearly worthless. I'm pretty sure I just traded my finger for it.
Shit,
Great
that's what
trade
you
in
got?
retrospect.
That really? That's the one? That's where that's from?
I think so. I would have to go back and watch the episodes, but I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was at least from that same vendor. I don't know if it was the exact thing I traded my finger for.
That's wild. I totally forgot that.
And as all of you exit the Cabinet of Curiosities, where would you like to go next to the night market?
I still
The
want to
muse-
check out the museum at some point.
I would like to go to. Jensen would also like to go to the museum.
No time like the present. To the museum.
Okay. As all of you head back to the museum, you see a short man with a bowl cut hair kind of shifting as he's walking out of the pie shop, a fresh pie in hand. He smiles and he cocks his head, and he motions with a free hand at the scabbard that houses your scimitar. I haven't seen one of those in a while. Not since I was much closer to home.
Well, we don't see. That's true. We don't see very many on this continent. But you have seen weapons like this, which means you are a traveled man.
Oh, I've seen one of those before. Well, I've seen a few of them. Are you traveled yourself, or did you take it off of a foe?
Oh no, this was a gift. And yes, I have traveled pretty far in my time. All over, really.
He smiles at you. I could respect this. You should come by the tattoo parlor.
Oh. It's been a long time since I have seen any of your trade, really.
He'll smile. My family and I's traditions are quite unique. But they are the best tattoos you can get. And don't forget to try the pies as well.
You know, I was going to suggest that after we did all of our serious business to maybe go get a pie. A pie in the night market might seem. There might be something more to it. But you have intrigued me. Yes, my friends and I are going to the museum, but I will come by.
The museum. You should be careful. Not everyone leaves there after dark.
That sounds mighty interesting, and that is, I am in the business of finding interesting things in people wherever I go.
He'll nod his head. Well, either way, I hope you and your friends do. It was good meeting you.
Jensen Shaw.
He'll nod his head. Be seeing you. And he'll head down the alley.
I'll catch up to them.
Ahead of all of you, you see the languishing steps that lead up to the entrance of the Museum of the Macabre. The door just hanging ajar, and dim firelight lighting an entryway that leads into the museum itself. One by one, all of you head up the steps and past the arch into a long, dark chamber, kind of like a muted grand hall that's accented by old, dusty furniture, statues and busts that are broken or keeled over or draped with tarps not ready to be presented, and diverging paths that lead to each of the 4 exhibits. As the last of you steps through the arch, and that must meet your noses, the museum door closes behind all of you.
Oh, look around. Is there not like a pay counter or anybody in here?
There's a counter that looks like a greeting counter before the paths start to diverge to the different exhibits, but there's nobody at it.
I'll walk up to it. Is there a bell to ring?
There is.
I ring the bell.
A silver ripple creases in the air in front of you. That space, that empty space behind the counter starts to swirl like a distant horizon in a desert ripples on a hot day. And a figure appears, almost like a bellboy, leaning over the counter, a glinting spirit. Welcome to the Museum of the Macabre.
How much is it to get in and see the exhibits?
Oh, free of charge. Well, not completely. It'll cost each of you a life.
So should I just go outside and bring somebody else in and then we kill them? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, no. No one's leaving till morning. Dr. Death says so.
That's the exhibit I wanted to see.
And that exhibit wants to see you. Although realistically, you have to make it through all of them to survive the night, so good luck.
Goodbye.
Bye. I'll just start walking into the first exhibit.
Well, wait a minute.
How does everyone else react?
Hey, whoa.
What?
He said survive. That would imply that something's trying to make us unalived. In
This
one
is
on
just
one.
like one of those haunted houses that, they tell everybody that too because they just want to scare them as they're walking through.
Besides, they're a bit late on a couple of us.
That's true.
My concern with that hypothesis is that with that kind of attraction, they normally charge. These people do not appear to be making any money the normal way.
Though Dad has a really good point. There's only 2 of us here who technically have lives.
Now we don't. That's a little bit insulting. Is
Yes, and I would not object to either of those people entering the museum.
So we're ripping them off. Let's go, V.
we're ripping him off? He's expecting 5 souls. He's gonna get 2 for the price of 5.
There's a ripple in the air as the spirit appears again. He motions down the path to the first exhibit, the 100 Deaths of Orson Wilde. Nowhere to go but forward.
Does the spirit appear magical?
Yes.
Max has a suspicious mind when it comes to things like this.
Oh, come on. You can't say you're not a little curious. Besides, if you stay here too long, the darkness will swallow you up, and you'll be dead anyways.
I feel I may have had a perfectly sufficient amount of curiosity satiated for one evening.
The door. Is there?
Unfortunately, we're pulling an all-nighter.
What if we get out of here before
When
the night?
When you look back at the door that you came in from, it's just completely covered in darkness.
I'm assuming it's
kidding about.
I'm assuming it's magical darkness.
Yes.
Well, he wasn't kidding. Maybe about only way to go is forward. Damn it.
Wonderful, just bloody wonderful.
Onwards. And he's going to start excitedly walking to the first exhibit.
I'll look to Cartan and Max, and I'll say, "I'll have your bag. I'll go in last." And the doctor, everybody else can.
Thank you.
Much
And,
appreciated, Mr.
I'll-
Jensen, as usual.
Can I slip into the shadows while are we?
Yeah.
Right, will be concealed. Alright. How will we, but it stays sleeping in the shadows?
And as all of you are led forward by the ever-cheery V, who's always happiest in the
Brain
Museum
trap.
of the Macabre, obviously.
This is his first museum ever.
When
It's
next
exciting.
we play, we will see if all of you can survive a night in the Museum of the Macabre.
Oh,
You
no.
survived your first museum visit.
True.
Or will you
did.
survive your second?
That's true. I guess I did technically drop off the book at the museum, huh?